How Metallica started with Dave Mustaine. Metallica started in 1981 in Los Angeles, California, USA. After some turns and rounds, James Hetfield, guitar, and Lars Ulrich, drums, settled as the creative core of the band. They later met bassist Cliff Burton, after hearing his impressive bass-playing abilities, which we all came to know him for. The band developed a raw and heavy sound style, with powerful instrumentation. They eventually became a reference thrash metal band. Metallica's first lineup briefly included Dave Mustaine on guitar, but he did not get along so well with the other members of the band, so before the release of their first album, he was kicked out. He was replaced by guitarist Kirk Hammett. Metallica vs. Megadeth, a spin-off of Metallica History. Dave Mustaine then founded their heavy metal counterpart Megadeth in 1983. Mustaine resented his former bandmates for kicking him out of the band, so Metallica and Megadeth became rivals. Especially during the 80s decade, both bands started to become more and more popular and eventually became massive acts in the early 90s. In regards to the Metallica vs. Megadeth rivalry, we can say Hetfield and Ulrich's band outsold Mustaine's project. But heavy metal fans love both bands. Classic Metallica. In 1983, Metallica released their debut album, Kill 'Em All. Their impact on the underground metal music scene began to grow from the beginning. The subsequent releases, Ride the Lightning in 1984 and The Mythical Master of Puppers in 1986, helped cement their reputation as a metal band. Cliff Burton's death in 1986. It was during the tour for Master of Puppers in 1986 that bassist Cliff Burton died in a bus accident. By that time, Metallica was a very respected and well-known metal band in the United States. C. Jason Newsted is the new Metallica bassist. Metallica decided to continue with a new bass player. Jason Newsted joined the band and released an EP of cover versions in 1988. Then, that same year, the critically acclaimed And Justice for All was released. Many critics commented that even though this was a good record, the bass cannot be heard properly as a result of a bad sound mix and production. Metallica's rise to fame. The early 90s, the big break for Metallica came in 1991 with their self-titled album, also known as the Black Album. This record has memorable tunes that became classics: Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, and The Unforgiven. With the Black Album, Metallica established themselves as the biggest-selling band from the Big Four of heavy metal bands, outranking Megadeth. Metallica's self-titled LP was certified 16x Platinum in the United States and was a worldwide success. Style change. How Metallica cut their hair and refined their sound. After years of not releasing any new material, the band returned with a completely different look, short hair and a clean attitude, grown-ups that took things more seriously. That was when they released two records that usually split their fans and critics, Load in 1996 and Reload in 1997. 1998 was the year for the covers album Garage Incorporated. The following year, in 1999, the classic orchestral live album SM was released. Even though this was a really productive time for Metallica, but no new original tracks were released. How Metallica's Crisis got them their worst album. In 2001, Jason Newsted left the band because of rising conflicts between, Metallica's agenda and his other musical projects. Without a proper bass player, Metallica continued to record their next album in 2003, which is considered to be their worst, Saint Anger. The production on this record and especially the snare drum sound were the focus of a lot of criticism. With that album already released, Metallica hired a new bass player, the versatile Robert Trujillo. This cemented the current Metallica lineup, which consists of James Hetfield, vocals and guitar, Lars Ulrich, drums, Kirk Hammett, guitar, Robert Trujillo, bass. Metallica then released their albums Death Magnetic in 2008 and a collaboration album with Lou Reed titled Lulu in 2011. Especially the later gathered mixed reviews from music critics and the press, as well as the fans. Metallica's resurgence, Hardwired to Self-Destruct was released in 2013, and it did better in terms of album sales and popularity among fans. In 2022, Netflix's popular series, Stranger Things, featured the classic Metallica song Master of Puppets. The track re-entered the music charts and reminded the public that the band was still one of the most important heavy metal bands that ever existed. In 2023, Metallica released their long-awaited new album, 72 Seasons. The record received positive reviews from the public and critics. Metallica's discography. Metallica has released 11 studio albums and some live albums as well, but for the latter, we will just mention SM, their live symphonic effort, which became a classic. Here are all Metallica albums listed. Would you like to explore the history and impact of a specific album or member of Metallica?